Changes my address.
Perfect. So the agenda for today is we're gonna introduce what the Fab Bhutan challenge is about first. Later, we're gonna have our local challenge hosts from Bhutan, from 5 amazing Fab Labs in Bhutan, introduce the challenges that they propose. They've been working on these challenges for the last almost 2 months with local partners and their local communities. And during the Bhutan 23 event, are going to like propose areas of intervention and problem statements that all of us hopefully will participate in together. I am going to, and then in the end, we're going to do some practical steps of how you can apply for the challenge, what the process is, what are the steps involved, and then end with a question with question and answers. So I would suggest please keep your questions or suggestions till the end of the session today. We'll have about 20 minutes at the end to address them. In the meanwhile, please you can put them in the chat, and then we can collect them all and address them later on. I'm going to share my screen now. Give me 1 second, please. Perfect. So the Dan, please feel free to interrupt because I can't see everyone's faces while I'm presenting.
Yeah.
So the Fab Bhutan Challenge is an innovation competition which is going to be organized during the Fab 23 Bhutan event, which is the annual Fab Lab conference and Fab City Summit. This year hosted by our gracious hosts in Bhutan. It's basically the Fab Bhutan Challenge is one of the core activities of the main event. It's a 6-day challenge where global stakeholders such as yourselves and local partners come together and work on some of the pressing issues that is faced by Bhutan as a country to drive their agenda towards a more dynamic economy. That is one of their strategic goals for this year. We have the challenge is hosted by 5 Fab Labs in different regions in Bhutan. As you can see on the map, some of them are near Thimphu. The Super Fab Lab, the one in the middle, is where the main event is hosted. But then there's also 4 other Fab Labs in other locations that will also be hosting the challenge. These labs are at a distance ranging from 1 hour to 9 hours by road. So travel is going to be an important part of the challenge for sure. These local labs have all been working with local community partners to frame their 5 local innovation challenges. And through this application process, we will be curating along with the labs 5 international teams, and everyone will come together, work towards this common goal of building resiliency in Bhutan. These are some of the local hosts: the Super Fab Lab, the Fab Lab CST, the CNR Fab Lab, the DGI Fab Lab, and the TTTRC Fab Lab. Okay, I am not drawing this. I'm not sure who is drawing this. Okay. So the areas of intervention, what are these challenges framed around? The main areas that all 5 challenges address individually are water conservation, cultural preservation through crafts, textiles particularly. One challenge is focused around assistive technology. The fourth one talks about human-wildlife conflict. There's a lot of uh, it's an agrarian society in a way, and then so the relationship with animals versus agriculture is something that it addresses. The fifth one being climate adaptive agriculture. We will have later on all challenge hosts present their own challenges in more detail, but this is a more thematic overview of what the challenges are framed around. So what happens during the challenge? So the challenge flow is basically uh, uh, stages, consecutive one after the other, that as participants you would get to experience during the Fab Bhutan challenge. So initially, the idea is to align and identify, meaning this to align with the local ecosystem, meet the people, see the problems firsthand, observe, go on field trips, basically immerse. The explore and immerse is where you go to the field trips and immerse into the local context, understand firsthand what's happening, and then later on come back to the Fab Labs, ideate and prototype using the Fab Lab ecosystem, test your ideas, iterate along with, go back into the community, test them out, and then eventually we showcase and share your prototypes or proposals during the open day of the main event. So the showcase is going to be back in Thimphu, where the rest of the conference will take place. So these are the 5 challenges. The one is called the aesthetics of water. The cultural preservation challenge is called weaving technology into tradition. The assistive technology challenge is called aluminum waste gracefully braced. Human-wildlife conflict is called interspecies peace negotiations. And the climate adaptive agriculture challenge is about subtropical monsoon versus sprouts. All this information is on the challenge website. Dan will share the link with you so you can read about these in more detail as well. But for now, we'll have the challenge hosts themselves introduce themselves quickly and introduce their challenges for you to get a brief understanding of what these 5 challenge topics are about. So I would like to invite now our challenge hosts, starting with Fab Lab DGI. Guys, you'll have about 3 minutes to explain your challenge and let us know when we move on to the video.
TGI has a video, Mitali.
Guys, do you want to introduce yourselves first, or should we go to the video? Video first? Okay.
I think you might want to find it directly in the folder. We have no sound.
Okay, hold on.
I think you have to share it with sound or something.
How about now?
Harmonious society.
The Royal
Works.
Academy construction project is at the forefront of building the infrastructure for Jubilee's.
Welcome to Pompsa, a region dedicated to His Majesty the King of Bhutan's vision of creating a just and harmonious society.
The Royal Academy construction project is at the forefront of building the infrastructure for Jubilee's Institute, a vital institute in developing an education model that realizes this vision. The Royal Academy construction project is committed to ensuring that the Institute's facilities are built to the highest standards with a focus on sustainability, efficiency, and innovation. However, it faces a critical challenge, an inefficient water filtration and distribution system that is causing high turbidity in the water, and water shortages in certain areas. These challenges not only affect the Jubilee Institute, but also the local villagers of Pompsa.
Since the flash flood in 2021 destroyed the intake tank at the water source, an additional water system had to be installed due to a shortage of water. The water filtration system in the new campus uses multiple tanks for sedimentation, but it has proven to be inefficient because the inflow and outflow of water through the tanks are the same. Furthermore, the water distribution system is unbalanced, with some areas like the dormitories experiencing a shortage of water while other areas are receiving in excess.
The construction team is still working towards building a filtration system that will be able to transform the water from this state to this by the end of May. However, how can we change the perception of clean water of the community from this to this?
And that's where you come in. We invite participants from all over the world to join us in Pompsa and be part of the Royal Academy Construction Project's commitment to building a sustainable and innovative future.
As a participant, you will have the opportunity to work hand in hand with the local community, understand their needs, and use your skills and expertise to design and implement an efficient water filtration and distribution system that provides clean and pure water to Pompsa. Your innovative solution will not only contribute to the Royal Academy construction project's efforts in building sustainable infrastructure for Jubilee's Institute, but also make a lasting difference in the lives of the people of Pompsa.
But it's not just about the challenge. It's also about immersing yourself in the rich culture, heritage, and nature of Bhutan. Hikes to the water source through the dense forest trails, visits to the renowned temple of Pompsa, and interactions with the community members will give you the opportunity to create meaningful memories and build connections that last a lifetime.
So join us in Pompsa and be part of the Royal Academy construction project's commitment to building a sustainable future.
Let's collaborate, innovate, and help the people of Pompsa see the purity of their minds reflected in their water.
Awesome. Do we have people from DGI here who want to show their faces and say hi before challenge?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, hello everyone. So we are from DJI Fab Lab. So that's the challenge that we have offered for the Fab City Challenge. So it's basically about the aesthetics. So the name, as mentioned in the name, aesthetics of water. So due to some of the due to some of the events and natural causes, so we have some problem with the water, the color of the water and distribution. So we offer this challenge to the all the people joining here. Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. I hope everyone's gotten a brief glimpse into aesthetics of water. Next, we're gonna go on to the super fab, the challenge offered by the Super Fab Lab called Weaving Technology into Tradition. Super Fab Lab.
Yep, thank you, Mitali. Hi, everyone. My name is Namgyal, and on this call, I am joined by Tsering Wangsom, who will be the lead coordinator on this project, and also Nirpa Raj, who's been helping with the logistics and the operations of this challenge. I am also joined by our collaborators, Fab Academy. So Anastasia and Claudia are both here. And also from the Royal Textile Academy, we have Tashiyanki and Nitin Durji. I think you can move on to the next slide. So in collaboration with the Royal Textile Academy and also Fab Academy, we've decided to come up with a challenge that's a little bit more focused on culture and design. So I think even before moving on to talking about Bhutanese textiles, we understand that textiles in themselves are very unique art forms because they hold so much of a community's culture, heritage, and history. And we also recognize that the people that participate in culture through traditional crafts, so like weavers and other craftspeople, they've sort of evolved to become owners of such skills that have been passed down through generations. So with this collaboration and this challenge, we're really emphasizing the importance of preserving such crafts. And so later we'll discuss like whether this is through innovation to produce like new and novel ideas and techniques, or just to solve existing problems, just to improve the process for these people. So I think moving on to the next slide. So moving on to Bhutanese textiles in themselves, Bhutan currently has 13 traditional arts, and this includes weaving. And traditionally, weaving is taken up by women. For most, it's a source of livelihood. So if you take a look at a lot of these pictures, you'll notice that much of the equipment is made out of wood. And so we've actually worked with the Royal Textile Academy to come up with issues that we can solve in weaving itself. So Mitali, next slide, please. So we've identified two problem areas, the first being the more traditional processes. So these typically are very manually taxing and quite outdated. There is, in terms of the material and the equipment, a lot of it is made out of wood. So that's like the main material that's used in the construction of traditional equipment. And this is prone to damage by water or even insects. So usually these looms and accessories are also not readily available, and they're also not very portable. So I think building it locally takes about at least a week. And this doesn't include like building of the other accessories outside of the weaving. So and outside of the weaving, all of these processes are very manually taxing. They're very outdated. A lot of people, they just use whatever is readily available and readily accessed. So there's also no standardization in terms of design across different weavers. So what we're looking for is to make the weaving process durable, efficient, and also user-friendly. So in collaboration with RTA and Fab Academy, what we've come up with is sort of a challenge designed around 3 different steps. So the first is that we really, through the connection with RTA, want the people that are applying to this challenge to be able to meet the local craftspeople and to learn and explore the traditional techniques and also learn about the issues that kind of plague weaving in Bhutan. Once this is done, we'll move on to ideating. So I think we're looking to work with people from very diverse backgrounds. Sorry, Asia, can you mute?
DGI Fab Lab, could you please mute?
Okay, thank you. And so we've kind of identified 2 different themes that we want our team to work within. So this is where the development of these solutions come up. So if you go on to the next slide. We're going to be working with our team to redesign traditional tools to become more efficient and solve issues that local weavers face. We're also looking with the collaboration from Fab Academy to design and prototype new ideas that incorporate technologies into traditional textiles. So these are the 2 thematic areas for our challenge. So in terms of expected outcome, we're really hoping that through this challenge, we'll not only be able to provide more tangible results, such as like redesign traditional tools, prototypes that fuse local and international knowledge, but we also want to come up with new ways to engage with traditional textiles. So this can be opening it up to a larger subset of the population that might be interested in technology, but not so much textiles. So if you go to the next slide, I think our last slide is talking about the intended impact. So first of all, because Bhutan generally has a smaller population, and because even within that small population, there's a very smaller subset of people that actually practice these traditional crafts. There's a very big very big problem of like Bhutanese art actually being lost forever. So as more and more people lose interest in the traditional crafts, all of Bhutanese art tends to be very endangered. Moving on to the knowledge exchange and the upgrade of traditional tools, I think we're also really looking forward to using this challenge as sort of a platform for an exchange of knowledge and values. As much as we want people to come in and provide more technology and more newer techniques to older traditional techniques, we also want people to take away from this whatever they can learn from Bhutan and kind of incorporate it into their own communities. And finally, like I mentioned earlier, we are looking also to open up Bhutanese traditional techniques to a larger population. Even within Bhutan, I think this is a really cool way of creating that intersection between technology and tradition, and making sure that a larger population is able to engage with and access whatever prototypes come out of here. So if you can move to our last slide. So I think maybe just to go over the challenge hosts, in order to provide the technical expertise and also all of the machines, we have the Jimnamgawanchu Super Fab Lab. Like I mentioned, the team consists currently of Tsering Wangzom, who's also on this call, and Nerpa. And so we'll be handling most of the design and the coordination, and also the providing the technical expertise in the machines. Next slide, please. From the Royal Academy, currently we have Tashiyanki and Netin Dorji. And so they're going to be providing a lot of the context to the local issues. They're going to be providing access to the local craftspeople. And finally, I think we can move on to the next slide. And finally, we have Fab Academy, who will be helping to provide their own technical expertise. So they'll be working with us to provide solutions that might have worked in previous projects that they've done. And they'll also help to facilitate the solutions that we come up with during this challenge. And so last slide, yeah. So we'd like to invite you to take on the challenge and help us revolutionize the Bhutanese textile industry. And we're also looking to create more sustainable and innovative solutions for the future. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Namgyal. That was right on time. Okay, let's move. Just a reminder, if you have any questions aimed at our challenge hosts or to the organizing team, please put them in the chat. And let's move on to the next challenge by Fab Lab CST.
College of Science and Technology has been providing platform for anyone seeking challenges and opportunities in the field of STEM since 2001.
In our community, there are two special education needs schools, and there are some students who have disabilities such as ALS, Down syndrome, and other mental disabilities. And well, not only the students themselves, but the teachers, associate teachers, and also the parents have been hard time in spending a lot of time taking care of those children.
The next challenge that we are facing is the improper waste management that is seen in and around the institute.
to you all. My name is Nuruddin, teacher of Finchland Luxor High Secondary School and also a SEN coordinator of the school. Our school is also the one of the school under Finchland Chundi who provides a SEN program. And here we have 9 students, some with physical disability, learning disability, speech problem and cerebral palsy. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Go on Fab Lab CSC. I think you have multiple connections. If you could mute all but one.
Hello, everyone. We're really sorry about that. Actually, we're having a setup for the public view too for the students. So that's why we have 2 setups here. This is Fab Lab CST. I'm Karma and we have Fujiyama Basar and Kenzen Doji. So we have been working on this and we would be really excited to have some help in terms of upcycling the aluminum waste around us and making a good use of it, especially developing assistive devices for our children in need, especially in the SEN schools. So I hope we have as many talented people as we can so that we can learn from them and continue to help these children around us. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move on to the next challenge. Called Interspecies Peace Negotiations by Fab Lab, by CNR Fab Lab. I believe, Kencho, are you around? You want to share your screen, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is it visible now?
Yes, we can see.
Warm greetings from Bhutan to all participants and distinguished guests. I, Mr. Tash Tendrup, Fab Lab Manager, along with Mr. Kencho Wangdi, Fab Lab Engineer, would like to present the challenge titled Interspecies Peace Negotiation. We are extremely excited to host the one of the Fab Bhutan Challenge 2023 in the beautiful College of Natural Resources, CNR. CNR is one of the colleges under the Royal University of Bhutan. It offers several high degree programs in agriculture, natural resource management, and rural development. Besides going to field for a real-life experience of the challenge, the selected interspecies peace negotiation team and other stakeholders will mostly work in the only biofab lab in Bhutan, that is CNR Biofab Lab. Limukha village, located about 25 kilometers from CNR, is selected as our challenge site. So this beautiful village, home to about 70 people in 30 households, is nestled in serene natural beauty at an altitude of 2,200 meters above the sea level. With breathtaking views of majestic mountains and clear skies, the hardworking farmers cultivate paddy and potatoes in about 80 acres out of 129 acres of total land. Limbukha village is a beautiful community where agriculture is backbone of the economy. The farmers cultivate paddy and potato using semi-commercial and semi-mechanized farming methods, resulting in lush green fields that are a true testament to their hard work and dedication. Despite its scenic beauty, human-wildlife conflict is a serious issue that has taken its toll on the village, as evidenced by the striking images on the right. Thus, the village is continuously exploring for sustainable solution to coexist harmoniously with wildlife and preserve their way of life at the same time. The traditional control measures such as scarecrows of various forms, live tree fencing, and stone bundings are still in practice, but they have proven to be ineffective. Electric fences, on the other hand, cannot effectively control the main wild animals found in the community, such as wild boars and birds. Green nets have also been in use, but are reported to be unsustainable and ineffective as a control measure. Although chain link fences have been reported to be effective in controlling wild boars, they are not suitable for controlling birds. Moreover, small-scale farmers are unable to afford chain link fences. Despite available solutions, farmers still have to deal with wild boars and birds damaging their crops. Wild boars damage almost all crops at night, that too throughout the year. While birds, locally known as kabji, destroy paddy before the harvest for about 2 months. It is unfortunate that farmers have to split their produce with these animals after putting in so much hard work. During our recent visits to the village, farmers made a repeated request to help them address issue of wild boars and birds. Human-wildlife conflict discouraged people from farming, caused rural-urban migration, reduced crop yields, and increased food insecurity in the community. If FAB challengers could come up with a sustainable solution, it can immediately help farmers of Limbukha village to address human-wildlife conflicts. And in the long run, the solutions can be upscaled and replicated in other parts of the country, as human-wildlife conflict is a national issue in Bhutan. To support the FAB challengers, we have identified stakeholders from Agriculture Research and Development Center, Limbukha Community, College of Natural Resources, National Plant Protection Center, and Punakha District Administration. Thus, we would like to invite all interested interspecies peace negotiation to Limbukha, Bhutan. On behalf of farmers, I would like to request experts out there in the world to help us find a sustainable solution to human-wildlife conflicts. Today, we are joined by Program Director of Agriculture Research Development Center, Sir Prema Chofel, faculty members of Forestry and Agriculture Department from CNR, Dr. Bhagat Subri and Dr. Sonam Tashi, and external personnel of Limbukha Geog, Mr. Shahbadur. So with this, thank you so much, and I invite your suggestions and questions. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Tashi. So that was interspecies peace negotiations. And now we're going to jump on to the next challenge. Dan, are you editing this slide? It's called the Subtropical Monsoon versus Sprouts by PTP RC Fab Lab.
Amazing. I'd like to invite TTTRC Fab Lab to introduce themselves quickly. Say hi.
Hi, I'm Sompal Doji from TTTRC Fab Lab, and greetings from the southern foothills of the Bhutan. In this call, I have Mr. Chachpinsu, our partner, Mr. Chachpinsu, who is working in the Agriculture Research and Development Center, and we are so excited to host the challenge, and we can't wait for July. Thank you.
Thank you. So after a brief sneak peek into all the 5 challenges, we move on to the next section for today about details on how you can participate and the logistics and a little bit of introduction to the logistics of the challenge. So who can participate? Essentially everyone who's interested in one of these topics, whether you're an expert from Bhutan or from outside, if you're a student, an academic, a professional, an expert in digital fabrication, in activism, in organizing, and just share the passion and interest in one of these areas of intervention, you're welcome to join the challenge. If you are working with particular technologies or methodologies in different projects, but you think they are relevant to one of the 5 challenges, we invite you to join forces with the local team and develop design outcomes. And we also invite individuals from networks and organizations, all the networks that we have in the Fab, within the Fab network and outside, to also come collaborate on one of these challenges, but through individual applications. If you have specific knowledge, skills, or previous experience, or just share the passion, please apply for one of these challenges. So here are the steps involved in the application process. Since the Fab Bhutan Challenge is an activity within the Fab 23 Bhutan conference, the first step is to buy a ticket to the Bhutan conference. Dan will put in here a link to the Fab 23 Bhutan website and the link to where you can buy these tickets. Step number 2 is pick a challenge preference. And step number 3 is fill in the application form. You can access the application form through the QR code here, or again, we'll share a link on the chat. You fill in the application form, the form asks for your challenge preferences. And then through the application, the challenge is a limited capacity event, since all the 5 Fab Labs are limited in space and resources. So we will do a curation process along with all the 5 host labs, and form 5 teams of about 10 people each, or sorry, 12, about 10 to 12 people each. The important milestones to keep in mind before coming to Bhutan. So we close applications on the 7th of May for the challenge. We are limited to 60 participants. These include participants from Bhutan and participants overseas as well. 21st of between 7th and 21st of May, we'll go through the curation process. On the 21st of May, we'll announce the challenge teams, the 5 teams that have been curated. And on the 2nd of June, we will organize an online meeting within your teams, along with the challenge hosts, along with the community hosts, to get into more details about each challenges, the logistics, and get to know each other and start working on start the challenge process even before you come to Bhutan. That is essentially what the Fab Bhutan challenge is about. Now that you have an introduction, you have brief insights into the 5 challenges and how to participate. We can address some questions, comments, suggestions from everyone. So please feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question, or we will jump into the chat. So I see there's a question about participant stakeholders from Eastern Bhutan participating in the challenge. As a host, Eastern Bhutan is, since it doesn't have a Fab Lab currently, they're not organizing, but if you're from Eastern Bhutan, you are welcome to apply to the challenge and join one of the 5 existing challenges. So please go ahead, irrespective of which part of Bhutan you're from, and you can apply to the challenge. Yes. Does that answer your question? This is by okay, I'm gonna go to the next question, which says by David, that says, are there any opportunities to get more technical details and context about the challenges? The more information we have, the better we understand how to propose valuable solutions and get a head start on research and discussions with colleagues. So like I explained before, one of the milestones is that after the teams are announced, we will organize online onboarding meetings with the challenge hosts, with the local Fab Labs, as well as the community partners and the other members from the local and international team together to go into the next level of detail about the challenges, about the technical aspects, and how you can start getting get a head start on research and discussions. David, does that answer your question? There's a question from Rico that has been addressed, so I'm going to skip it. Rico, if you're in touch with the Fab Lab already, please feel free to collaborate. You can even get in touch with us, and we can see how we can detail out more collaborations within that particular challenge. Benjamin, if we are not accepted but find another volunteer activity to perform inside Bhutan, would that be okay to do that activity? If you're not accepted, but if you find another activity, sure, go ahead. Just to keep in mind, the challenge dates are from 16th to the 23rd of July, and the main conference begins on the 23rd to the 28th of July. So there aren't overlapping activities between the challenge as an activity and the other activities, but outside of the conference, if there's other things, please go ahead. Shannon. Hi, Shannon. Shannon is from last year's challenge. Welcome back, Shannon.
Hello.
Do we know the time and the duration for the 2nd of June? We do not, but it most probably will be the same time as today.
Okay, it's just that it is possible. What would happen if we can't make it? Would that be a big no-no, or it's just that we have a workshop during that day in the lab, and I might have to be present, so I'll be there, not fully. It's just to check what if we can't make it on the 2nd of July.
Got it. So the 2nd of July is basically for the teams that are selected and are participating in the challenge and are confirmed, right? So if you can't make it on that particular day, you will be in touch with the rest of your team members, so you can catch up with them. for sure.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Yeah, basically, it's the same as the onboarding sessions we had last year, which were not mandatory, but nice to be at.
I see. Thank you.
Michael, do the participants stay at each Fab Lab for the challenges? If so, how about accommodation and travel? Thank you for this question, Michael. So for the duration of the challenge, the accommodation and the internal travel from Thimphu, which is the main event venue, to the individual Fab Labs is all included within the price of your event ticket. So yes, there will be accommodations that our local hosts are arranging for all the participants. You will not need to pay extra for the accommodation or the travel that is related to the challenge. So it's included in the price of the ticket. I hope that clarifies, Michael. I see Roland's question is similar.
If I can just jump in about the visa.
Sure.
Just as I realize a lot of the questions actually cover the visa, and regardless of like whether they are accepted or not. So just for general information, we're going to start the visa process before the selection happens. So everyone that applies for a Fab Bhutan challenge will be given the visa from the duration of the 16th until the 31st. And I think Dan has put that somewhere in the chat as well. But if you are not accepted, we will put you in contact with a tour operator to make sure that everything runs smoothly. July is the start of monsoon in Bhutan, so travel is a little bit better if you plan it through a tour operator.
Yep.
Perfect. So there's also a question about logistically, are there plans for accommodation, which we've addressed? So it's not travel from Thimphu on a daily basis for sure, because some of the labs are quite far. So for the duration of the challenge, which is from the 16th to the 23rd, there will be accommodations near the respective Fab Labs. In case you cannot participate in the challenge because it's fully booked, this is a question by Jose, then would it be possible to stay in Bhutan in the same week and be a tourist? Namgayal, I'm gonna direct this question again toward you.
Sorry, can you repeat the question for me? Is this the...
Yeah, the question from Jose is, in case you cannot participate in the challenge because it's fully booked already, would it be possible to stay in Bhutan and in the same week and be a tourist? So my understanding is everyone who applies for the challenge enters the country on the 16th.
Yeah, so I think because the selection process is going to be a lot later, so I'm assuming a lot of people will buy their tickets already before the selection shortlisted list is out. So if you've applied to be a part of the challenge and you've booked your accommodations before the shortlisting list is out, we will be processing the visas from the 16th onwards. If you can, I would ask that you wait. Everyone else that's not participating in the conference will be entering from the 19th, so it's like a 3-day difference. So if you can wait, we would suggest that you wait, but if not, everyone that applies to be a part of the challenge, regardless of whether you're accepted or rejected, you'll be given the visa.
And so it would be advisable to make alternative plans with local travel agents, just in case you're not in the challenge.
Yeah. So just want to add in here also that I think the Fab City team as well as the lab will be going through the proposals in great scrutiny and detail and everything. So we're really looking forward to seeing the depth and the quality of the presentation, applications that come in.
Thanks, Pema. That wasn't a question, right? That wasn't a question, right? Okay, moving on, there's a question from Abhishek. Does the ticket cost cover all the Fab events beside the challenge? Yes, so the challenge is not a separate ticket. As we mentioned before, the Fab Bhutan challenge is one of the activities within the Fab 23 Bhutan event. So you buy the ticket to the event, and the challenge is included in the price of the same ticket. I hope that answers the question. Next question from Louisa. Coming from another country and being a full-time student, is there a possibility to get financial support for the participation fee? So unfortunately, unlike last year, this year we are not able to provide any grants or micro grants to support people to travel to Bhutan or participate in the activities. For now, I would say we do not have any financial support to offer at this time, but at the last minute, if we find sponsors, just keep a lookout on social media, but we wouldn't be able to, don't hold us on for this, because it might not happen. Okay, there's a question from Susanna. Is it possible to come with a kid? Good question. Would they need a visa, Namgaya? Just wonder. They would need a visa, right? I'm gonna.
We'll double check, but I think there's an age limit. I believe if they're under 5 years old, we'll have to check on the specifics.
Yeah, I think if it's a certain age, you don't need one. We'll clarify.
We'll clarify, but there is a certain age limit over which they'll need a visa.
So just to clarify further, we will follow the same rules that are followed by the main event. So for visa related aspects, please keep a lookout on the newsletter, the social media, as well as the website for the main event. This
Sorry,
question.
if I could another bit of information. So because the STF has been waived for the entirety of the conference and the challenge dates, we're not able to process dependent visas solely based on the people that buy the tickets. So I think the FAB Foundation has done different tickets for someone who is a dependent versus someone who is actually coming in for the conference. So I think definitely, like Mitali said, keep an eye out on the newsletter, and then also maybe email the main email address about the query email for the challenge, for the conference. I'll put that in the chat. I think if this is something specific, we'll try to figure it out, and then we'll give you more clarity based off of like what we can ask the government officials as well.
Thanks, Namgyal. I hope that helps a little bit, Susanna. There's a question from Raphael about, can we apply for 2 different challenges? So when you apply through the application form, you can actually provide 3 preferences to the challenge: preference 1, preference 2, preference 3. You can actually apply for 3 challenges if you want. And we will, if one of them is full already, we will consider your plan B and plan C as well. So yes, you can apply, but you eventually it's going to be one of those 3 challenges that that you mentioned in your application form. Okay, Shannon is asking, do we have to change accommodation after the challenge when the Fab Fest starts? Yes. So the challenge, so the accommodation and travel that is included in the challenge days is till the challenge lasts. But when you move on to the Thimphu, to the main event, the accommodation is not included. So that is up to the participants and the individuals to arrange for themselves. I believe there is a list of recommendations. Again, website, newsletter, keep an eye out for these. So, but you will have to arrange it yourselves. Okay, what will be the evaluation criteria for the selection of the team? So, thanks for this question, Chetan. Dan, jump in if you want. So the more than evaluation criteria, it's a curation process, which means that there are questions on the application form that ask about your your particular skills, experiences, and a little bit more background. So we're going to take all of those into consideration, and along with the 5 challenge hosts, do a curation process and curate each teams not only to match everyone's challenge preferences and interests and skills and background, but also ensure diversity in backgrounds, nationalities, skill sets, age across all the teams. So there's going to be multiple criteria to curate all of these teams, which the challenge organization team will do will do in with the local Fab Labs. Okay, just 1 second. I'm going to take a sip of water. Hi Mai. Is it the case that once the challenge ends on 16th, we will be transported back to Thimphu and we need to book our own accommodation from 17th? The challenge actually starts on 16th. It ends on the 23rd. And if you check the website, the challenge is 16th to 23rd, and then 23rd to 28th is the main event. So you'll be transported back to Thimphu on 22nd, 1 day before the event, and then you book your own accommodation from that date. Okay. I'm trying to find more questions. Oh, there's a question from Felix. Is there a forum where we can coordinate travel to Bhutan? Also a forum for more casual exchange beforehand. Oh, thanks. Namgal already answered this. Thank you very much. Can we get a copy of the slides presented by the hosts? Yes. So if you see the challenge website, the website dedicated to the challenge, which you can which is linked to the main event website as well. After the session today, we will have the recording of today's session, as well as all details about all 5 challenges on the challenge page. So I believe here is the link Dan has shared to the website. So there is time to go over it again, talk to other people who could not make it today. If you think that you have friends that might be a good fit, please spread the message and they can also join the challenge. There's the WhatsApp group. Okay, there's a question. So when different people from the same lab apply for the same challenge, it might be that not the whole team is accepted. Yes, because all applications are individual. We consider them individual applications and not group applications. So depending on the curation process, it might be possible that people applying from the same place or organization might be put either into different challenges, or some of them might not be selected because the capacity is full. That is possible, yes. Just to confirm, the list of places where we can stay will be on the newsletter by Shannon. There will be recommendations on the newsletter as well as the website. I would say keep checking the website. There will be recommendations for places you can stay, yes. Okay, more questions. I think the okay, the dates are mixed up, but you got it now. Okay, I think that's all the questions in the chat. If I have missed something, please feel free to either unmute and ask your questions now, or alternatively, please reach out to us on challenge@fab.city for questions that might be unanswered, or doubts you might have, or any other collaboration proposals you might have. And we'll be happy to get back to you super soon. I think we are 6:08 right on time, 60 minutes from when we started. So unless there are any last minute questions, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you very much for your questions and your interests. It's going to Bhutan is definitely like once in a lifetime opportunity, not just as a tourist, but going there, working with the community, leaving behind a legacy. It's going to be amazing. So we look forward to having lots and lots of people who can join and contribute towards the goal of making Bhutan even more resilient than it is. Thank you very much. Hope everyone has a good rest of the week, and hopefully see you all in Bhutan.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Danke. Tschüss.